All right. Good morning, good evening, good night. Hey, listen, we had some audio issues. We had a little video issues on the back end there. We appreciate you guys waiting around for us. So we have another episode of NFT Live. We're going to bring you the goods from around the NFT industry, man. Ronin, how are you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good, other than the audio issues, man. I apologize about that, guys. That's my fault. I should have run a cleaner test at the beginning to make sure my audio is straight. But we're good now. I think we'll be all right. You guys will have to just bear with me. This is my first time running the screen, right? So Q's out of the house today, so I'll be kind of running the tech side of things. So it's been a good week, man. It's been a good week. How about you? Like, collect anything fun?
Big times in the NFT industry. We tried to collect something fun on Nifty and we had some issues. So we definitely have to like talk about that on the stream. But yes, guys, I will be here on vacation for another day. So the next time you see us on NFT Live, we will have the regular setup. So appreciate you doing that for us this week, Ronan. That's awesome, man. Yeah, like you said, we have a ton of stuff to get to. I think just looking at our dashboard real quick, we got I believe it was a DApp Radar and Blockchain Game Alliance report on kind of the overall industry. We've got like an Axie governance token that Geo kind of hinted at, Sandbox IEO, that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
big.
Yeah.
And then you're going to talk, I mean, you're talking Nifty Gateways, blockchain heroes. You're going to hit on
Just
KOGs, which I'm super excited about. So,
yeah.
yeah, man, I'm ready for this episode for sure.
Yeah, man, it's been a busy week as I think like most people are getting used to at this point is the speed of NFTs and the scene is just is light speed, right? So like it's been super busy, a lot of drops, like a lot of really cool stuff going on. Obviously like, the first topic that we had was the blockchain gaming alliance does that report and a couple of big points that I found in there was just like exactly that, like how much NFTs are growing, right? But
Mm-hmm.
also how what was really interesting was how Ethereum has been affected by gas. That's another big story this week, right? Like gas is putting a halt on NFT collecting and collectors. I don't think too many people are doing too many transactions.
Yeah, 100%, man. And we kind of have that situation where there's a lot of high value stuff going on Ethereum, but not a lot of volume, like you're saying. So, what you're seeing on EOS and Tron and Wax, definitely Wax. I think Wax itself is doing more transactions than all of Ethereum NFTs combined. So that's definitely I think to touch on there. But yeah, I want to get this kind of topic on the table, right? Because you're not new to collectibles. You're a collector yourself, and you have that experience there. But you're kind of like working your way into the crypto industry a little bit, and this is your first experience with gas. Like
Right.
some people that have been around for a little while remember crypto kitties. But what's your experience with gas just from the outside?
So gas is like really like a complicated thing for me to like wrap my head around. When my first experience actually was wax, right? So I got into
Mm,
this doing the GPK drop, and wax, if you guys don't know, but you should know, is doing transactions without fees. So they do have like a back end thing that's kind of similar. It's called RAM on their end.
mm-hmm,
But the way they work out the contracts is that they're kind of built in with their own storage. So you're not dealing with that transaction fee. So when I came to kind of like broaden my scope and start looking at everything else going on in the industry, I came across Ethereum and they have like a huge art scene. And I went to like purchase my first piece of art and I was like, what is gas? And it was like 75 cents or something. And I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I was like, okay, that's fine. And here we are 2 months into it. And I'm like, I don't see a point in $27 transaction fees. Like, but it makes sense when you talk about the other side of things, right? So they're using the chain for like DeFi, right? Like I still don't understand DeFi, but like I understand that that's large sums of money. So like when you're talking about big money, $27
mm-hmm.
isn't a big deal. But on the NFT side, which is where we're focused on, right?
Yep.
$26 is exponentially worth more than most NFTs are.
Mm.
When you consider that most are probably worth anywhere between $1 to $5.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what the other chains will do. And that's kind of like what the report that you initially mentioned is talking about, right? Because you
Yeah.
have these other scalable chains. And what the DeFi guys will say, at least from the crypto side of it, will say that ETH kind of found its product market fit, and that's not NFTs. And
Right.
that's why they're getting pushed out, right? The chain is being used a lot by what you see in DeFi, and those supporters or those in that community will say, well, too bad, figure it out. Everyone wants ETH 2.0 to come out, but we will see what happens with these other scalable chains. See if they can pull over some NFT user. I think Wax is doing it. Like, I think there's some Ethereum users that have moved to Wax, or at least started to use Wax more. You guys in the chat, let us know what NFT or what kind of like collectible platform do you guys use? Are you big in ETH? Are you on Wax? Are you on Tron? Let us know what you guys are doing up to this moment, because it's a fascinating kind of discussion.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, and especially like with what they're doing with Wax. Like, I think the biggest thing to like take note there is that they don't have transaction fees, and they're seeing the gains from that, right? So I think a lot more people are looking at Wax. I've seen some of the people who have done mainly like Ethereum, like art drops, have done some things on Wax. You don't even have to pay minting fees. So there's a lot to look at there. Obviously, is it really the space for art? I don't know. I think high-end art probably fits better with what's going on with Ethereum. But I think when you're looking at like everyday trading, collectibles, that type of thing, eventually, everybody's gonna have to look at alternatives like Wax and Tron and things like that, Hive.
Yeah, and I think there's some commenters in the chat now that kind of share your sentiment, right? We see a lot of Wax supporters kind of in the chat here. So, guys, want to kind of touch on that article and kind of wrap a bow on that article, because it is big. Obviously, it was put on by the Blockchain Game Alliance. But I want to get to some comments real quick before we do, Ronin. We got Kieran in first. He's one of our main lads, our lads community that's slowly growing. We've got some NFT enthusiasts there. So if you're interested in joining the lads community, the community that kind of powers layer one and what we're doing here, the description has that Telegram link, and Dimitri will get you in there. We do have an interview. So layer one does interviews other than NFTLive. We have interviews every week, I believe. We do 2 each week, kind of bi-weekly setup there. And we have Dapper. We have to interview Mickey from Dapper at the end of this hour. So that's kind of, we definitely want to flow through this. Yeah. So Dimitri, we got Bitcoin Benny, looking for the FOMO. We got Weed Miner in here. We've got Dimitri's in here. Seth is in here. Shout out Seth, man. You've been great. Key Largo's in here. Papa Bear. So many people are commenting. Manila Crypto, thank you for stopping by.
Axie Infinity and KOGs NFT GameFi. Yeah, man. Definitely. They're doing great things with KOGs, with that stuff coming up on Wax.
Yeah, so let's wrap a bow on the BGA article, and I did want to have one more talk, because I saw you in the video this morning. BGA hosted a panel. It was like, how do you become a whale, essentially, and Whale Shark was in there. Couple good people in the industry were in there. So what did you think about the article? And then let's talk on that video.
Yeah, I think the main points to come out of this is that Ethereum accounts for over 75% of the $35 million in transactions since the beginning of the year. That's huge. That's a huge number, number one, right? 35 million, and this thing just started. Ethereum obviously holds 75%. The rest is kind of split between Wax and Tron mainly. And then what's interesting as well there is the secondary market for Ethereum, primarily OpenSea, is bringing in 6 million of that volume, which is huge. NFTs are viable. NFTs are here to stay. NFTs have a huge future. And if you're here right now in chat hanging out with us, then you're ahead of the game.
Definitely, man. And we're going to tell you about all the stuff going on within NFTs. Ronin's a great collector of these things, and definitely is opening my eyes to the collector side as far as art goes. So we're going to touch on Nifty Gateway. Yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say about this BGA article before I ask you about that whale video here, the BGA article kind of really touched on OpenSea as being the strongest marketplace, and I think that's important. I think OpenSea will eventually, like Rarible did, which is definitely a competitor, will eventually launch some sort of governance token that makes 100% sense, basically using the token and having utility for the users there. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever go that route. But it is, I mean, OpenSea is awesome. We interviewed Devin Finzer back in the day. But Rary or Rarible with that Rary token, we'll see if they can kind of take some market share from OpenSea.
Yeah, for sure. I think that actually, let's loop back around and talk about the Whale Shark thing closer to the end. That way we can fit in what we need to. But that actually, what you just touched on, leads into our next topics, which is SAND, right? SAND's got a token, and they're coming out on Binance. And then Axie's also coming out with their own token.
Yeah. One of them's using,
Kind of the same?
100%. Yeah, well, yes and no. I think
Okay.
Axie hasn't figured out distribution yet. So
Okay.
if we go to the store and we pull it up for the guys, Jiho is basically, and this comes from an article from Play to Earn, and he does a great job. Rob over there does a great job of putting together kind of the stories from NFTs that from the NFT industry that we use on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click in, you can see that he has various links. One being a little tweet from Jiho. So if you click into that hyperlink, which is hinted, Jiho essentially tweeted this out August 9th. So 4 days ago, he said, what project with over 6,500 in Discord, 5,500 ETH in lifetime network revenues, memes, #1 in weekly and monthly users for NFTs, is planning to launch their native governance token in 2020. And that's straight from the horse's mouth. Jiho obviously runs up that project. They've been doing a ton of things. I think they're in some type of startup lab. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that actual platform. So it'll be interesting to see when they launch this token, and that's important for you guys to understand, because while we're all here to collect and while we're all here to interact with the NFT space and we see everything, it's also important to keep an eye out for potential value opportunities for yourself from an investor standpoint. So if Axie does get another token, it definitely is an opportunity for price appreciation in that token. It's an opportunity for you to take part in governance on Axie. So if you want to see an update and you want to see this, that's something we don't have, right? If you play WoW, we don't have that opportunity to say, I want to see it go in this direction because there's no governance token. So that's big news from Axie there, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think that Axie's got a huge following. I like the fact that they are also kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to like what they're calling smart NFTs and interoperability. The ability to like then take Axie and the gameplay and put it into the metaverse and that kind of thing. And that's really cool what they're doing with that. So that's really cool. We got some comments in chat. Axie Infinity and KOGs obviously are going to be big. KOGs is going to be nuts. Gas fee is mooning. I wish all was mooning Manila. So do we. Gas is definitely something that everybody has to deal with. And we hope that it eases soon.
And I guess we'll wrap a bow again on, I love that term for whatever reason, but I wrap a bow on this Axie thing by saying they have their blockchain that's kind of rolling out, codename Ronin. That they're going to be, I saw you tweeted on that. That was pretty funny.
When is Ronin coming?
They will be rolling out Ronin to try to address the scalability, because you can't, again, these high volume, low value transactions that happen on Axie can't happen when the fees are $20. So.
Yeah, and a lot of the at least the ones who are looking at it and really closely, projects are working towards that. Zed, which is the horse racing one that I got into, they have the same issue. Like, you have to pay to take your horse and put the horse into like race ready mode, right? Because you got to take them out. You got the race to be able to run on the blockchain, has to be able to verify that the NFT is ready to go. So you have to pay for that transaction for it to be put into a pool. Then you have to like race, right? So that's a different pool transaction, 2 transactions to get in, and then there's a 3rd transaction to get out. You're talking $75, and the buy-in might be like 0.01 ETH. So, and the winning like might be total 0.1. So it just doesn't make sense, right? So these are obviously solutions that they're coming up with, and hopefully they're rolling out quickly.
Yeah, I think Dimitri was in the chat saying he spent like something like $400 in gas fees over the past like couple days.
Dimitri,
so good Lord.
Insane.
It's funny because NFTs were doing this to the financial industry in 2017. We touched on the CryptoKitties thing. I think if people have been around for enough times, like the digital cat breeders pushed out kind of the investing side of what was going on within ETH at the time, which was ICOs. So now it's like the financial industry is kind of getting back at the NFT space a little bit.
Collectibles.
So yeah, definitely, guys. Keep coming through in the chat. We'd love to hear what you guys have going on within the NFT industry. I think the most vibrant chats we have are definitely when the chatting is happening, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So if we want to just go ahead and touch on real quick, the next big topic that we had was the Nifty Gateway drop, right?
Let me just real quick. The Sandbox IEO, which is happening, I believe, tomorrow. So, guys, the way that the Binance launchpads work is you have to hold BNB on their platform and get like lottery tickets to this IEO. The IEO is basically how initially people are going to get this token. I guess the main thing that you need to know is if you want to participate in Binance Launchpads, you need to be on their platform. You need to be holding BNB, and then you'll have a chance at the lottery tickets. And however long and however much you have staked in BNB to the platform, you essentially get access to a potential sale. So if any of you are out there that are staking BNB or just have BNB and have this lottery ticket, I want to get in to this sale just for a couple of reasons. One, from a price standpoint, it looks like based on that initial token price,
Right.
when it does IEO, it's at about $25 million market cap, which at the current price would put it at like 1/6 the market cap of Decentraland. So there is an opportunity there. And you always have to kind of like look at this and say, okay, well, Decentraland's worth 125 mil in total market cap. Mana's seen price appreciation. SAND is basically the mana token of Sandbox.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have an opportunity here to like look at this and say, if you can get in, then there is possible chance for like price appreciation in the token. Not investment advice, but it's something that, you know, is definitely good to look at. I'm looking at it to stake on layer one's land as well. So interesting stuff.
Got you. Okay, so you can stake it on your land. That makes sense. I need to look into that then. Too bad I can't get Binance from because I'm the state that I live in. Unfortunately.
No worries, man. Yeah, touch on Nifty, man. Hit Nifty. Let's do it because you got to school me on Nifty.
Yeah, so Nifty is pretty cool, right? So Nifty does weekly drops every Thursday at 7 p.m. The way that they do it is they're always limited, and they always they schedule their drops out something like 3 to 6 months, right? So like if you're an artist and you want to get on Nifty, it's going to be 4 or 5 months before you can even get a drop. So they do these drops, and the way that they work, at least the way they worked the first time I tried, right? So this is my first foray into it last week, was you can buy either straight US dollars credit card transaction, or you could use ETH, right? So the way that I play with my play money is I put money into an account, and then that account has to grow, and then whatever like money I make out of that account is what I get to play with. Okay, so
is that guideline set by the wife? Is that a wife thing?
Yeah, 100%. Like you you know, you get into marriage and you start sharing an account. It's like, hey, what do you like spend so much money on? It's like, oh, these digital collectible things. It's like, all right, let's work something out here. Okay. So I put some money into, GBK. I flip that. It turns into what I use for my collectibles. And thankfully I was also smart enough to invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago. And so I've got extra money, and it's all ETH. Okay. So I put it all in ETH because I knew that I wanted to try a Nifty drop eventually. Last week, there was one that I wanted to hit, BD. I tried to hit it. It didn't happen. Why? Because when you're dealing with Ethereum, you're also not, gas is a fee to get your transaction paid through the line, right? So like however much you're willing to pay, the one who's paying the most is going to get processed first. For anybody who doesn't know the Ethereum side of things, this is just so you guys understand why it's different from Wax or Tron. So you have to pay that fee. That fee you have to get put in line for a transaction, and then you have to wait, and then eventually it goes through. Well, obviously, while my Ethereum payment's waiting, credit card payments are being processed, right? So I thought I had a BD, which was a 1 of 10, and it was an absolutely beautiful painting.
It was.
Oh my gosh, those paintings are amazing. And I didn't get it. So I was sour about it. So get this. So I go to Twitter, and I'm like, this sucks. Look, here's my screenshot. It shows that it says we're holding this like NFT for you, and it shows that I paid, and it shows that my transaction went through, but it got held up on their end, right? So I kind of complained a little bit. And now I feel kind of bad because then they announced on Saturday that they're doing their first Tuesday drop, which is also going to be a big drop because it was Hackatao, which if you don't know is a huge crypto artist who does amazing, very cool work. And then my personal favorite, which is Figurines, which is Gold Weird and his Crystal Pops.
Can you do me a favor and pull up so that everyone's like following along? Can you pull up Nifty and like show me, especially the BD, because the BD ones we both saw, we were like, we need to get these.
Oh, so the fun story is like I got on just to get a Primal Cipher, right? So Primal Cipher does like some really cool like cyber like punk art. And you asked me if I was gonna get on, on Nifty, and I was like, yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna get some Primal like cards, right? And you're like, I think I'm gonna get a BD. I wasn't planning on spending $250. but you
Hmm.
damn well believe I went into my wallet and I transferred some. So then I got
Promote in.
excited, because dude, the BDs are beautiful, right? So this is Nifty
Hmm.
Gateway. You can break things up by like however it works. But I went in, I queued up for I'm Helpless When I'm Oceans Away, um, which I thought was like hands down the best piece.
Hmm.
Um, it's great work. The work is beautiful. But anyways, so it sold out. Tuesday rolls
Yeah.
around. They announce they're not doing ETH payments because of the issues that they're seeing, which is people getting stuck. You think you're queued, then they have a backup queue of refunds. So I feel like it's kind of my own fault that I couldn't get in on the Tuesday Hackatow drop, because then they blocked out ETH, and it's $27 to put the ETH into my bank account, and if I don't get one, it's $27 to
Mm.
send it back, and I don't want to spend $50 for a chance. So
Yeah, yeah. So the one thing we're going to get to in a couple minutes that kind of is related to this is the Blockchain Heroes sale. So Blockchain Heroes is on
yes,
Wax. They did like a card sale. One thing you told me that, because I didn't really like take part in this one. I usually hit these sales, but I just didn't interest me that much. One thing you said was that during the sale, it had nothing to do with credit cards. It had nothing, like there was an issue, and it had nothing to do with credit cards or anything like that. It wasn't on Ethereum, but they still had issues, and and we'll touch on it here in a second. But yeah, man, these I do want you to hit that when we do get to it. But yeah, these paintings are amazing. I think it's tough for non-collectors to kind of judge what will be valuable in the future. I think
right.
artists and people who are in the art community kind of have this inherent idea. It's like, oh, like maybe that will be valuable in the future. I don't know. So that's where I lean on your expertise a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's where that whale conversation came in, and it was really like enlightening, right? Like, so like Whale Shark, if you don't know, is one of like the biggest like crypto art collectors. And what he did was he actually created kind of a cool token as well. He's got the whale token, I guess
Hmm.
is what it's called,
Yep.
right? But it's somehow backed by an art fund that he put together. It's a vault.
The vault.
It's a vault, and they literally have a just a shit ton of art in it, and that is helps back the token. So this whole conversation was talking about the fact that where the value came from. He got with Nifty, not Nifty, NFT. Non-fungible, what's that website he got, anyway, nonfungible.com or something like that, and
Yeah.
they valued it, and it was something like 870 something thousand dollars worth of crypto art, and they talked about how he makes his decisions and things. But I think a lot of it is just look at stuff, and if you think it's cool, like, and you think that like there's some, he says do your research. If you like
Yeah.
the work the artist does, he's got a rule, right? Like, you have to, if you want a piece of art, make sure you want at least three pieces from that artist. Because if you're going to invest in an
Got
artist,
it.
then you need to invest, right? Because if people are seeing you invest, that's important. So if you're
Interesting.
willing to buy one, make sure you're willing to buy three. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then he goes on to say, look into them, look into their social media. Maybe they're brand new to the scene, but they've got 200,000, followers. So they've got
Hmm.
a follower, a viewership there. So a lot goes into what makes the decision of what you want to buy, and of course, just things that look cool. I think these crystal pops are cool. I don't think enough people are taking advantage of like 3D figurines in the space. I think
Yeah.
that needs to come next. So
Yeah, this is I don't want to cut you off here, but we just got a $5 donation. So I want to
yeah,
give a big shout out to Gray Man. Gray Man was
great
on
man.
Layer
Thank
One
you so
Live. He
much.
gave us, yeah, 100%, man. You gave us a donation earlier in the week, man. You really are killing it as far as the donations are concerned. We appreciate it so much. Flare Network, give me my sparks. I haven't looked at Flare Network. I don't know what the hell sparks are, but we're about to find out. That's for sure.
Valuing
It
crypto art
looks,
is daunting from Brandon Cummings. I can't like imagine like taking that on. They went through the whole process,
yeah.
and it's really cool. If you have a chance, check it out. Blockchain Gaming Alliance (BGA) on YouTube. Yours truly will be a guest next week on their panel. So if you guys want to check that out, I will be there.
Yeah, yeah. Break that down for us. So you got invited to be on a BGA panel. That's like that's huge news for those of us in the NFT space.
Yeah.
Like that's big news, man.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. It's actually one of the first things that I dropped into randomly when I got into the space was BGA. It was they did their first all women's panel, which was really cool. And I got to see some people, and I got to meet some people and follow some people on Twitter on there that are really cool people,
Mm.
that I've been able to have some great conversations with. And just through networking, man, I got hooked up with Serena. She runs the show over there as far as like what they're doing from week to week. And yeah, so they're going to have me on as a collector and kind of just talking about collecting. I think the specific topic is land. Are you collecting, or are you doing it for investments? And so
Mm.
it's NFT focused for the next few weeks, which is very, very cool. I appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, we got a couple other comments. Dimitri saying he's getting front run in the donation category by Gray Man. So yeah, Gray's coming in hot with $5. Dimitri, can you do me a favor and drop the links that Gray Man's talking about, this Flare network? Because while we're live, it's like hard for me to kind of like go out and find these things while we're trying to stay on topic. So I wanna know what Flare network is. I want to know what Sparks is. But Gray Man, again, appreciate you, brother. We'll see you. I think Dimitri's desk is tomorrow, and we got another Layer One Live coming at you on Friday, on next Monday, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate that.
let's hit the rest of the episode, man.
Yeah,
We got
we're on time constraints. So I could do a quick wax roundup. Okay,
hit it.
Blockchain Heroes came out last Saturday. They launched. They did a 2 window. So Wax is trying to figure out how do they combat whales. Okay, so their idea with this one was to do 2 different drops. It was all crypto. It was only Wax at 12 o'clock and a 1 o'clock. About 2 minutes into the 12 o'clock window, everything grinded to a halt. The Wax cloud wallet itself failed in the back end. So it wasn't the blockchain, it wasn't a credit card processor this time. It was actually the wallet technology itself. So many people hit it and tried to start collecting that the wallet shut down. They said that they were booting up 25 more servers about 30 minutes in, right before they did the 1 o'clock drop. 1 o'clock came, it crashed again. So they've got some work to do on the Wax Cloud wallet. Thankfully, KOGs is coming up. If you guys don't know, KOGs is basically the 90s POG craze brought to blockchain. They've got a mobile game coming. They've got huge plans for this property. They're doing it right, man. They've got some really cool. We'll go into depth with those guys, hopefully either on drop day or maybe next Thursday on next Thursday's episode. But we are going to have them on. We're going to chat a little bit there. I'll be doing a wrap up, a survivor's guide to Wax or to KOGs video over the weekend. So check out my Twitter for that. I'll give you all the breakdown of, what the rarities are. Let's put it this way, 3,414 different combinations of KOGs. Okay. So there's a lot of collecting to be done. They're going to have a 3-hour window. Okay. So that's how they're combating, is you can buy as many packs as you want, 3 hours. That's KOGs. Wax Cloud wallet shut down, and then we've got a legit battle royale coming to the Wax blockchain, which is called Become Immortal. If you guys want to look that up, I can kind of pull up the link. I'll let it play, kind of no audio. But this looks interesting. I don't know how much of this is actual gameplay. It's supposedly a battle royale game that kind of came out, and then Wax came to them and said, "Look, like let's do something a little bit better than what you guys have got going on. Come to our blockchain. We can help you out with that stuff." So that's the Wax news in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I wanna go back and touch on KOGs, but we will touch on really quick this game here. I believe it's called Become Immortal. So they did have and we talked about this last night when we were kind of running through the episode today, but they did have kind of the launch maybe like in early 2020, and then it didn't maybe get any fanfare, so they're now relaunching it. So there's definitely some things to unpack here with Become Immortal. And then at the same time, we had the same discussion with where we are in gaming and NFTs today. We did, and there's no AAA studios. I think Blankos is an opportunity. Blankos is coming on EOS Day, obviously for Mythical Games, which is like some subset or arm of Blizzard, which is big. Yes. But what you're seeing here is kind of a studio. They're not the best graphics. They look kind of old as far as graphics is concerned, but I still like what's going on with a lot of these people kind of experimenting with games. It takes balls to kind of come in and say, I'm going to make a blockchain game. So regardless
100%.
of cool, yeah.
Yeah, I think, so just a quick correction. It's called HODL God, and then Become Immortal is like the tagline. But
got it.
So it's interesting. I just think it's cool. I think that we need to see more of it. I think that when Blankos hits, it's going to make everyone who isn't already investing in this technology, they're going to want to start investing in the technology. I think that's a really good use case. I think the idea of NFTs is those little figurines that are going to be put out by designers and artists, and some really cool collectible mechanics there is just really going to make it it's going to pop. And I think that mass adoption is right around the corner. And I think that this is going to help tremendously. And obviously, anytime you say battle royale, gamers get interested. So it looks like from this gameplay, it's almost like you get some magical like moves and stuff, and it's just like yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be, it looks cool. Looks cool.
Yeah, the pairing battle royale games and like kind of PvP games where you're able to kind of, I don't want to say take from other people, but that was
Right.
something that was really cool when I was really young, in playing RuneScape for the first time. RuneScape was kind of like my big first foray into MMORPGs. And I remember there was like a line you would cross in the big city where it would go from city to wilderness. And in the
Mm-hmm.
wilderness, you could actually PvP together and like take other people's gear, but you could also get gear taken from you.
And
And I
lose
think that's
it.
just a really, yeah, I think that's just a really cool marriage of blockchain, because then you're actually saying like, I'm going out here and this is everything I
This is
physically own, not, yeah, yeah.
exactly. So I think that like it just makes sense, and it's what's coming. So I think when we get some like really big chains like Epic and companies like True Blizzard, with like some Diablo or something jumps on the blockchain, it's just going to be
Mm,
game over. I think that we will get to a point where that is the only way they're going to do it, right? Just like now, like
mm,
you either go free to play microtransaction, or you go full on like $60 game, but then you do your DLC packages, right? So like you're gonna have to choose
mm.
at some point, like do we go
Yeah,
blockchain or do we go conventional? And it's just gonna make
100%. And
sense.
Brandon's in the chat saying the more AAA and indie blockchain games, the better. I think that's the best way to put it. You have indie
Absolutely.
games and you have AAA games, so I love that. We have a couple more comments on COGs, and I think we got probably like 10 more minutes, maybe a little bit less. So
Yeah.
I think you got it pulled up there. Let's talk about COGs, man, because I know I'm, first of all, again, I'm gonna go back to my childhood. Yeah, I kind of missed a little bit of the COGs craze. I'm a little bit younger than you, I think, because I didn't get into the COGs craze. It was more of the Pokemon and a couple other things that I got involved in. Yu-Gi-Oh was big. So let's hear about Pogs, kind of and COGs now, and kind of how they mesh together and what the deal is, because I definitely want to see like what they're doing going forward.
Yeah, so like basically what they're doing is they're bringing Pogs, and Pogs is a L game. It was called a lot of things throughout the world, but basically it is they call them milk caps in some places. You have cogs. Each player puts in the same amount, like 10 each. You stack them up upside down, right? So they have like a heads, and then they've got like a tails.
Mm,
And then you put them all face down. You have what's called a slammer, which is like a metal heavy like cog. It's a little bit bigger, and you literally take it, you slam it down on the stack, and any of the cogs that flip from face down to face up, you hold, you keep, right? And you can play that two ways. You either play for keeps, anyone that you get out of the stack you flip, you get to keep that forever, or you play like best of, whoever gets the most in like 3 slams or something like that. So it's got the replayability, it's got the interoperability. They've got more games planned. They have partnerships with other games where some of these items that you're collecting may end up actually becoming characters in another game, or unlocking levels or skins, or so these. And we don't know. They like this first set. They're calling it the collector's edition. Okay, so their price rollout is, we're going to release this first one that's kind of like, hey, this is what this is, right?
mm,
And there's the 3 hour limit, and however many sell in that hour, that is it. They'll never be minted again.
mm.
And then from there on out, it's going to be more along the lines of a conventional trading card game, where a run will last for months. You know what I mean? So people can buy as many as they want, booster packs and starter packs, and collect and trade and play for keeps and play in tournaments. So they'll have regular play for keeps, tournaments. Um, and it's just, some of these looks, I mean, dope, man. Like these are so
Yeah.
cool.
So is there going to be like a blockchain aspect when it comes to PvP? Like how does the battling aspect work? I know you took
Yeah.
me through the process of like when you were a kid, and like actually like the physical process of getting the cards. So when
Right.
I'm PvPing somebody in COGs in the next 2 or 3 months, when I'm taking Dimitri's COGs, how
Right.
does that look from like
Yeah.
a PvP angle?
So from the way it's been explained to me is like, the way it'll work is you'll choose from your collection like which 10 you want to put into the stack, right? So you pick your cogs, right? And
Yeah.
he'll put his, and then the game will stack those, one from each, right? And then you literally take a cog, and then the way it works is it'll be almost like, you remember like old school golf games? You had like power meters, right? So how hard you can hit it and
Mm,
how straight you can hit it, for example.
hmm.
It's going to be somewhere along those lines. It's going to be like skill based. So like the better, more on angle you get it, the more you'll flip over. And then, like I said, they'll have 3 different gameplays. Whoever has the most cogs at the end, you win the round. You don't get anything except for, winning. Then you have play for keeps, which is literally any ones that flip over, you get to keep. Whichever ones you don't, you lose. They're gone forever. And then they're going to have a big tournament scene, from what I understand. So they've got a lot of planned on it. And within this first set, there's going to be 100 different pieces of art. There's 4 or 5 different rarities. Then there's the foil rarities, which I think you guys saw here. This is a foil, right? So that's an ultra rare foil. And then you've got edition numbers. Then you've got what they call like micro sets. This is a micro set. This is called egg hatching. So this one is literally, the first one is the egg. The second one, the 2 of 3, is the egg hatching, and then the 3 of 3 is the actual fox hatched. So that's actually a mini set that you can collect in the big 8-bit set that is part of the collector's edition. And then they have, cyberpunk, 80s neon dreams, retro. They've got lots of cool stuff coming. They got lots of cool stuff planned. They've also just launched their Discord. If you guys want, I'll drop a link into chat for you. Join up. They are in Discord every morning for the next 2 or 3 days at 10 a.m. Easternish. And they're doing releases like spoilers. They're answering questions. It's a voice chat you can get in. You can talk to the guys who are making the game, and that's accessibility we have now that we're eventually going to lose. But take the opportunity to get in here and ask those questions. Like, what do you guys plan? Like, why should I be interested? What do what do you see cogs going in the future? Things like that. So I definitely think it's something to watch. I think you guys should get involved and watch out for that sale. It's next Tuesday. I don't have the time at the moment, but we'll have
okay. So are they selling in packs, or are you buying specific? Like, I'm talking specifics now. Are there like actual tokens that you're going to be able, or cogs that you're going to be able to buy specifically? Like, oh, that looks like a good design. Are you buying these all as a bundle? How does that work for people who are looking to get in? Because wax has been like, there isn't a wax sale that's happened that hasn't sold out.
Yeah, and they're selling out like faster and faster. So this is actually cool because it's not like a straight sellout, right? It's more of how many can they sell in 3 hours. And the way they're doing it is you're going to have 6 cogs in a starter pack, 25 cogs in a what they're calling, or I'm sorry, a starter pack is the 25 cards, or the cogs, and then your booster pack is going to be 6 cogs. And the way those work is they're set with preset slots, right? So like the 6 cogs is like you'll get 3 commons, 1 uncommon, 1 rare, and then you'll have a 6th slot that's a secret slot, which has percentages that you can roll all the way up to an ultra rare. So it's like a 1.2% for an ultra rare, but the percentage is there. Obviously, the percentages are higher in the more expensive pack. The more expensive pack also has the ability to get the slammers, which the slammers, they have some really cool art for that as well. I don't know where they dropped it though. But yeah, so and then 3 hours, once that's done, it's done.
Yeah, so I got 2 questions again on the specifics, and we'll hop off here in the next 3 minutes. But as far as I think I lost the one, so I'll ask the first one first. What's your strategy? So cogs, obviously. So you've been in this system. You know what the specifics of the sale is. What's your strategy for how you're looking at it? Maybe also you're not taking the investor side approach or the trader side approach. What would your strategy be for the trader, and then what would it be for like the long-term holder or something like that?
I think different from the previous wax drops where people are like, should we hold our packs? I don't think packs are going to be worth as much. I think that this is, what's cool about this is, like I said, 3,414 different actual different variations of cogs. So you can have 3,414 number ones, right? So mint is not as important. Obviously, it'll be important. But I think that what you want to do is you want to crack these packs. You want to see if you get any of the super ultra rares, like super duper ultra rares. And then you got to decide, like, are you a collector? Are you going to try to collect that set? And if you're going to try to collect it, what's cool is they made this able to, you can collect to whatever degree you want to. You can be a grand collector and try to collect all the ultra rare foil slammers, which there's 12 of that are, it's impossible. There might be like 10 of them ever. And then you can collect all of the same arrow border, or all of the same green borders, or you can
Got it.
collect the mini sets, the 1 of 3s. So there's a lot of things you can do. I think for me, I'm going to be collecting most of these, and then I'll probably put like a third and a fifth of them away for later. You
A
know?
third, a fifth.
Where
Okay.
yeah, like where usually like I would
Yeah.
usually I would probably sell. I would buy like, I would buy and then sell like 2/3 and then keep like a third depending on what the set is. If
Yeah.
I want TK, I don't care, so like I got rid of it.
Yeah. So my last question, and just like a one-liner, because we do have to go.
Yep.
As far as like the amount of COGs being sold and then the dollar price there at the actual like sale date, what is the actual amount that is going to be if they sell out completely? What is the amount here that's being sold? Do you know off the top of your head?
Like how many they'll be produced?
Yeah. Well, from like a dollar standpoint, we've
Oh, I
seen, I
got you.
think Shatner raised 115K.
I got
I
you.
think,
Yeah.
the blockchain heroes, I think, did around that. So are they trying to set like 100K here, or what's the deal?
They have no limit. They literally have no. So like
Okay.
this could go like way under if nobody's interested, right? Or this could be 5 times that. It's however
Okay.
much gets sold in those 3 hours.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So it's kind of uncapped there. Okay, perfect. Well, let's touch on a couple of these comments. Brandon's in the chat. He's saying gaming is the next hype wave for sure. I think one of the things that DCL blogger, I forgot his name, Matty. I need to look back at his name, but one of the cool things from that interview in that chat this morning that they were talking about was that NFTs specifically don't see a lot of saturation, or at least in the future won't see a ton of saturation, because it's such an open, like there is no ceiling for this industry. There really isn't, compared to other crypto industries that might have a saturation ceiling. So it's literally like we're on the ground floor of something that's going to be absolutely amazing, and I could probably say that with almost 100% certainty. So that was cool to see him talk about there. And then the other thing that you talked about, which I liked via this COGS, is like adding functionality. It's not just a card. We love cards, we love collecting cards, but now you add the game aspect, gamifying it. That's amazing.
That's the future. That's what we're getting to look forward to, man.
100%. So the last couple ones here. Of course, I love PvP, Brandon. And then Manila Crypto saying we have a Filipino channel in the COGS. All Pinoys are welcome. So Salamat, I believe, is thank you. And I got one of my best friends is Filipino, so he always says that to my mother. So anyways, you got anything else, Ronin, before we pop off here?
Just thank you to everybody who came in. Brandon, Manila, Papa Bear, Dimitri, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for having a chat with us. Next week we'll have a little less time constraint maybe, and we'll be able to chat. And that's on me, guys. Sorry about being late. We hope you guys have a great week. Good luck on your collections. Keep an eye on our social. We'll be doing some stuff for COGS release on Tuesday between now and then. And we'll catch you there.
100%. Ronin, you've added so much to this episode, man. You got nothing to apologize about. Great, man. We want to shout out to you again. Thank you for the donation. That definitely helps us as we go forward. So, hey, guys, we don't have a catchphrase to end the episode.
We'll have to come up with one. We'll figure it out. We appreciate it. Happy collecting.
Boom. Happy collecting. That's not a bad one.